Good morning. Having some trouble with the Wi-Fi, looking for a spot where we can still connect. I think this will work. Welcome and crispy outside, but still beautiful today. All right, just let in our participants. Everyone, I'm going to be answering some of your questions today. And I had lots of feedback about our new series on developing self-control. So last week we sat with a visualization about conflict management, and that is really helpful. Current political events show us that adults haven't figured out that you can disagree and not hate each other. And so that is unfortunate because we don't tolerate that from kids in the classroom. They have to be able to disagree with one another and sit in the same space. But they do not have any role models in the public sphere. So, so developing this emotional and psychological maturity and literacy is definitely something that meditation can help us with. In fact, the focus on compassion and loving kindness creates so many positive neurotransmitters and lights up basically the part of our brain that is um, um, where positivity appears and not where negativity appears. And so the more we do this in meditation, the more we are building this capacity, we are rewiring our thinking. And we are developing a habit. So, like every other discipline, dig in. You will see the results with repetition and focus. Today, we're going to continue with conflict management visualization. We just started touching upon it last week, so I would like to sit in longer practice for conflict management. Let's begin by getting into the mindful body. And as we continue to inhale and exhale, we remind ourselves, we renew ourselves that our greatest power comes from changing our mind about the world and not changing the world. And so, what does that mean in practice? Well, if I decide to see everyone around me as a brother and sister worthy of my love and care, then I'm less likely to get angry and feel victimized and take it personally when they make a mistake. I'm committed to being a little bit easier. I'm committed to working things out because I'm invested in the long-term relationship. Throughout many cultures, this is what it means that the image of God in me recognizes the image of God in you. The divine in me recognizes the divine in you. And we can honor and respect one another this way. Isn't that wonderful? Yay. Takes practice. Just inhaling and exhaling. As we continue to remind ourselves that our true power comes from letting go of all of the attachments we've made to controlling people, power, stuff. And approaching the world from this very spiritual and holistic perspective that I have a great responsibility as the image of God to honor others who are my brothers and sisters. And in my honoring of them is where I find affirmation of the fact that I am indeed the image of God. It is a wonderful example of how giving is receiving. And listening for sounds within and without as we connect to this present moment. Noticing all of the mind chatter that we may have already been busy with. It's only 8 a.m. on a Sunday morning here, but my mind has been busy for probably 3 hours. With nothing very useful or interesting. Circling and turning and worrying. And in our meditation practice, we are fully focused and self-conscious about moving beyond that. Let's watch it all go by, the busy thoughts, the things we think we need to be happy, to be respected, to be loved. Just letting that all move along. And reminding ourselves that the only thing that can create happiness, a sense of respect and love, is our attitude. It's not our stuff and our control. It's the attitude of loving respect for ourselves and others, loving respect for the community that we share with not only our loved ones, but our strangers. Our strangers. Lengthening the spine and noticing the rise and fall of the torso as we continue to breathe. As we inhale, reminding ourselves of our true power. And exhaling all of the things we think we need to get there. All of those things, they stand in the way, right? They stand in the way of our true connection to God, to others. So we can consider those idols. Because there's nothing that stands in the way of my connection to God and others. Only my thinking, stinking thinking, as one of my teachers puts it, Jennifer Hadley, stinking thinking. And when you catch yourself in it, course correct. Remember, stinking thinking isn't a reminder of failure. It's an alarm. Oops, time to get back on course. When you find yourself stuck in stinking thinking, use it as an opportunity to redirect and be thankful for the fact that we noticed it. You may continue our mindfulness practice with any anchor that helps you focus, whether it's the breathing, the body scan, the listening, the mindfulness of thoughts and emotions, and allowing them to pass as we root in our values, in our intention, in our goal to be the highest and best we can be, to offer the highest and best we can to ourselves and others by aligning with our true identity as the image of God, as a vehicle for expressing loving kindness in the world and forgiveness. I put these things in Christian and sort of some Buddhist terminology because that's my background. But these concepts exist in all cultures, in all faiths, in all traditions, and they have for a long time. Align with what you know. Align with what feels easier for you, the language you can use, the images you can use to connect with this sense of a truth that is beyond ourselves. Beyond our very narrow, limited perception of things. Position of our root in loving kindness and our commitment to transforming our mind about our situation and the world around us. Let's call to mind any conflicts we are experiencing. Imagine yourself feeling very dysregulated, activated. Those are the terms that are used now for feeling like you're going to blow your lid. Imagine that coming. And that happens really quickly for me. I can be very explosive. Now imagine instead of reacting, take a deep breath and exhale. Let's do that for a count of 5. With each exhalation, noticing the situation seems less hot, less volatile, less likely to control us. Sometimes if we don't fly off the handle and have a quick response, an angry response, a defensive response, we may feel that we're being pushed around, we're being disrespected. So let's take another 5 breaths into the appreciation of the fact that our self-control shows we respect ourselves. Our self-control shows that we are in control, that we are not wagged by the dog of every situation, that we are indeed powerful, not a victim, not disrespected, not frustrated, continually frustrated by circumstances beyond our control. And inhaling deeply. And as we inhale, enjoying that sense of expansiveness and strength, aligning with our deep spiritual and psychological goals allows. Just noticing how wonderful it feels to not fly off the handle, to be in control of our emotions, of our perceptions, of our attitudes. 2 more breaths. Now we will take 5 more breaths in compassion and loving kindness for the person or the situation where we have conflict. And as we breathe, understanding that many people have no access to the empowerment that this tradition enables. That many people are stuck feeling victimized and powerless and disrespected, and they've got no way out if they can't change their thinking. And so we extend loving kindness and compassion to teach, to model, to show something different, to show what power means. And as we inhale and exhale, opening our hearts freely, without reservation, extending all of the loving kindness to those with whom we have conflict. May you be healthy. May you be happy, fulfilled, respected. May you feel easy. May you know love. And just inhaling and exhale deeply into that. If you notice any stinginess in your heart, like, I'm not giving them that, breathe right through it, because this costs us nothing and it gives us everything. Ooh, that's a tough one. Let's try that again. And in sending our loving kindness to others with whom we have conflict, whether it's friends, family, strangers, where we have beefs and griefs, notice how wonderful it feels to let it go. There is nothing in the way anymore of our feeling loved and respected when we let go of our beefs and griefs. And as we continue to extend loving kindness to others, reminding ourselves we don't know their circumstances. They may be going through something really tough. They may have just had a bad day. They may have lost their temper. It happens to me. I embarrass myself publicly, frequently losing my temper and feel terrible about it. Maybe they feel terrible also. And so extending compassion and forgiveness restores flow to all minds and hearts. It gives everyone a chance to realign, to redirect, to reconnect, and start again. It is time to wrap up our 15-minute meditation. We are now at 19 minutes. Thank you so much for joining with me today. I look forward to your questions and comments. As a homework assignment, let's continue this conflict management visualization. So we had the 3 steps, which were calling to mind a situation where we were pretty feeling like we were about to fly off the handle, pretty dysregulated, activated, and breathing through it without flying off the handle. So just visualizing ourselves keeping it together instead of shooting off at the mouth. Step 2 was pausing to enjoy how nice it feels to not be at the whim of situations, how wonderful it feels to not fly off the handle. And just really kicking into the pleasure button there. That is a nice thing to experience. Feels good. Feels good. With training, it feels much better than flying off the handle. Step 3 here is extending loving kindness to others. Compassion, forgiveness. And while we do that, noticing how easy it feels to let go of what doesn't serve, to let go of beefs and griefs. So those are the 3 steps. I invite you to try them out this week and let me know how it goes. Looking forward to it. I will be doing the same. Thank you for meeting with me today. Have a wonderful week.